Okay, guys, I am so excited. Lindsay and I are going to be leading this last class in the series. It is May 21st, right? Isn't it May 21st? So we are going to be talking about follow-up and getting to yes. So, but first of all, I'd like to welcome everybody. Does anybody have any kind of walkthrough or anything they want to share? Don't be shy now.
Go ahead.
I just want to say thank you all very much for your ideas, your input, for sharing, for being so strong and successful. And I'm just glad that I've been able to be a part of this experience. So thank you.
Oh, well, thanks, Amanda. That's awesome, awful sweet of you to say that. Great. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? No? All right, who's going to conference?
Desiree is. She just doesn't.
Desiree, raise your hand. Going to conference?
Okay, what? I'm sorry. Well, yes, I am.
Good. That's awesome. I am really excited about conference. I'm just here to tell you I am super excited about conference. I think it's going to have awesome workshops, and we're going to learn a lot. So let's see. All right, I'm very excited that I get to share with Lindsay again. Her and I, this is the second time we are doing dual training, and my new BFF. Thank you, Lindsay. And so we're excited because what we're going to bring you, we're going to talk about is the fortunes in the follow-up and getting to yes. So, but first of all, we're going to talk about getting to yes. Well, either getting to yes or no. The point being is we want to get to an answer, whether it's yes or whether it's no. And if it's no, is it no, never, or no, just not right now? So when I have somebody at a show that's really interested in the business, we've done the full service checkout. They say, yeah, I want to explore a little bit more about Pampered Chef. I schedule a time when that person and I can sit down and have some one-on-one time. And so, I always have my calendar there. So the next couple of days, I usually schedule a time at Panera's. I personally like Panera's. I know some people like Starbucks or whatever, but I personally like Panera's because it seems to have more room. Our Starbucks that's closest to us has a small little area for people to sit in, and I personally want to be able to make sure we are able to sit down at a table and talk. Panera also has Wi-Fi, so it works out. And so I offer to buy them a Coke or a cup of coffee and come and sit down and explore more about Pampered Chef. So whether I hold the recruiting interview live or over the phone, I want to get to know that person. And so what I start out with is I start out by asking questions. I'll listen to what they have to say, and I do write notes about them. So first of all, I'll ask them, so tell me more about yourself. Are you married? Do you have kids? Do you work outside the home? Do you have any hobbies? And then I stop and I let them talk, which is one of the hardest things in the world to do. As I always like to say, you have two ears and one mouth for a reason. All right, so you should be listening twice as much as you're actually talking. So then I stop and I listen. Does anybody know why I ask them these questions? Why do I ask them those type of questions? Other than get to know them. There's another reason too.
Build a relationship.
Build a relationship. Hey, Sandy. Yep, build a relationship. What else?
So you can figure out how Pampered Chef can really fit into their life and kind of, be able to know enough about them to offer suggestions and just kind of show them and help them visualize how it can be a perfect fit.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely. And then the other reason too is also because I want to know what groups they're associated with. So for example, if they told me that they're in a mom's group or that one of their hobbies is they like to scrapbook or something like that, then I know that when they're having their shows or thinking about who their first hosts could be, I can give them suggestions on who they can ask. So who's in your scrapbooking group that loves to cook, or who is, in your mom's group that really needs to get dinner on the table in under 30 minutes or less. And I can give them ideas on who they can call to be their first host. So I want this interview the first part of the interview to be all about them and not necessarily about Pampered Chef. I just want to listen to what they have to say about themselves. So one of the other questions I'll ask is, do you want to know how to get started or why you should get started? And I started that, about 10 years ago. And the reason I started that is because the first time I asked somebody that question, and this was a home office lead, and I went over to her house, she was right around the corner, and I asked her the question, do you want to know how to get started or why? And she said, oh, how? I absolutely know I want to do this. So if I had gone through the whole recruiting interview, I could have actually talked her out of it, which, I'm sure I have many a times talked people out of this, but I would have actually talked her out of it. And one little side note about this is she was a home office lead. She had a party with somebody about a month prior to signing up. And I asked her, I said, well, why didn't you, I wanted to refer her back to the person who was her consultant. And she said that she was one of the most unprofessional people that she had ever met. She showed up at the show in dressed horribly, t-shirt and what do they call, cargo shorts, and it wasn't like her hair was combed. She said it was terrible. So that would just, give you a little insight that, when you go out and do these shows and talking to people, you need to put forth a professional look. So it doesn't mean you have to be in a 3-piece suit or all dressed up, but it's just have to be neat. And, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to dress like you want to be taken seriously. So if they say they need to know why they want to get started or why they should get started, I go through the interview process. Now, I like to do my interviews in person, but sometimes it doesn't work out. But if I am in person, I use these interview cards. Have you guys ever seen these? Okay, they are online. You can actually purchase these. The package of them are $2.50, and they're well worth the money. And so what I do is they just go through, this one says, and by the way, I'm reading this backwards because it looks backwards on my screen. Tell me about yourself. And so actually on the back then, it has different things about, let me see if I can do this. Your family, occupation, outside, interests, and dreams, all right? And then what it has through it is, what I do is I lay these out on the table. And I say, tell me what interests you the most. What is it that you want to know about with Pampered Chef? And I let them lead the recruiting interview. Now, the other way you can actually do this is if you have an iPad or any type of tablet, you can actually download these cards. Hold on, I'm going to get there. Download no, that's not it. Download a PowerPoint. And have PowerPoint, and you can actually do this whole thing on your iPad. Oh, it's not working. Okay, there we go. And so you can actually go through the different things on your iPad too. So you can either do it on your tablet or with these cards too. So I let them lead the conversation. I let them ask the questions, what interests them the most. Like if they're interested in, money. And what's nice about it is right on the back, it has the words you can use, word choices you can use. And you can use this as your guide as you're going through the interview. Let's see. I'm going to look at my notes here. Now, if I hold the interview over the phone, I'm going to attempt to do this screenshot here. This is something that Terry shared with us a while ago. Not a little while, just recently. Okay. So what you can do is can you guys see this? Please tell me you can see this.
Yes.
Okay, good. So if you just go to the Pampered Chef website and you go to join, you can have them on their computer or their tablet or their phone at the same spot you are. And if you go down here, what you have on here is almost the same things. So like you can ask them, what interests you the most? Rewards, flexibility, community, support. And if you put your cursor over it, it talks about each one. So you can be doing this over the phone the same way as if you were live. And so I love that idea. Let me stop sharing here. Okay, so I love that idea that you can do it online or you can do it in person with these cards. One of the nice things about doing it online too, if you take them to that web or to our Consultant's Corner is the fact that then if they say, you know what, I'm ready, you can sign them up right then and there. The other reason I meet at Panera is it has Wi-Fi. I bring my computer, and so they can sign up right there. All right, so you have this awesome interview, and you're talking to them, you're sitting down, and you're getting to know them, they're telling you what interests them the most about Pampered Chef. The next part is the part that consultants, I think, are afraid to do. That is closing the deal, so to speak, making sure you get to an answer. So what I normally say at a recruiting interview is something like this. And Sandy, I'm going to use you as my person, okay? And so what I would say is, Sandy, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. So I just have to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you never ever want to see me again, and 10 being is let's get this business started, where are you in the decision-making process? So then Sandy is going to throw out a number. Just throw out a number, Sandy. 7? Okay. We can't hear you, by the way. So she throws out the number that's other than a 10, a 7. What I'm going to say to Sandy is, I'm just going to say, what would make it a 10 for you? Tell me a little bit more about that. And so what I want to do is I want to get to the reason why Sandy is hesitant to sign up right now. So she's either going to tell me something like, I want to go home and talk to my spouse. I want to think about it a little more. I want to, whatever it is, you want to try and overcome that obstacle. And so now if they're telling me a lower number like, 3, then I know that probably they're not going to sign up. But even whatever number they throw out there other than a 10, let's sign up, is I'm always going to ask them, what would make it a 10? And tell me a little bit more about that. Because then you want to overcome their obstacles. You never, ever want to leave any kind of recruiting interview without finding out where they are in the decision-making process. A lot of people skip this last part, and you can't. You have to know. You have to know where they are so you can go ahead and sign them up. So, you know what, then if they just need a little bit more time to think about it, then you just need to do the follow-up, which now is going to go into Lindsay's part because she's going to talk about the follow-up. All right, and at the end, we'll have time for questions and answers.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, if it's noisy, I'm really sorry. I have a canary and a toddler in my room with me. So hopefully it's not too noisy on your end. Thank you, Wendy, so much for sharing. I absolutely loved your question that you asked. Do you want to know how to get started or why? I just thought that was really good. I wrote it down on my notes. So thank you so much for sharing. So I think we can all agree that most people aren't like begging to get signed up, right, for the most part. But I think we can also agree that the business can be such a blessing, right? But how will we know if we don't ask, right? Because first we have to inform, and then we have to invite them. And it's funny because I was just on another call with another group of Pampered Chefers talking about the informing and the inviting. So sometimes, even when we ask, the answer is no, or not right now, as Wendy had shared. And in the case of not right now, I always ask them, when we can talk again, or when we can keep in touch, and then we pick a date. And the more specific, the better. Can we talk? Can I call you in a month, or can I get in touch with you in a month? Okay, awesome. What day of the week works best for you? Okay, Monday nights. Can I call you at 7, or if it's, maybe just a text or a message. But I feel like the more specific, the better, because then you have permission to talk to them or to contact them again. So now you have, people to follow up with. So that's the end, right? No, of course not. we have to know how to keep track. So I'm going to talk about 4 different ways that you can keep track of your leads or the people that you need to follow up with. So the first one that I have is, and this is just an old binder, but inside the binder I have, let me see if I can show you guys. So I have folders with tabs that say the month, January through December. And then there's little pockets inside. And let's see, like right, where did I put it? I think it's in June. I've got a prize slip with a gal that I need to follow up with in June. And then you can do that with any month. And you could have a month, you could have 31 tabs in between if you wanted to get really specific and put the dates. So there's one way. And the other way is actually a way that we've talked about on this series before. And I think it was Sarah who had what she called a tickler file. And that's just another way of keeping track. This has got January through December. And then within that month, you can have 31 cards with the dates. And you can put and you can use this for more than just leads for recruiting, but this could be for just anything. Like on this one, I have to send a meeting reminder text to my team, or to send a hostess packet to a certain person. But if you wanted to use it just for your opportunity leads, you could put call so and so and with notes. Talks to her on this date. We talked about this. She has 3 kids, different things. Phoenix, get back.
Oh, Daddy.
And then the other ways to do it, and this, maybe could be a little more old-fashioned, and I forgot to bring my calendar in here, but on your, like your paper calendar, you can write on June 1st, call Wendy to follow up. Or in your phone, which is the way that I have to really do it. I'm so sorry. The way that I have to do it, because I tend to not remember, is to put in my, in my phone calendar with a reminder, that pops up that says call Wendy. Stop it, you're distracting me. And then the last way is Evernote. Have any of you guys used Evernote? And I can't see you guys, so say it if you have used Evernote.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so, and if you haven't used Evernote and you want some more information, maybe reach out to somebody who has used it, or to me, I'd be happy to help you with it. But Evernote's a really great way to follow up with all kinds of things, not just leads, of course, but in this specific, for what we're talking about, it's a really good way to follow up. And you just have to find which one works for you. For me, when I use the lead binder or the tickler, I have to put a reminder in my calendar or on Evernote anyways, because I just haven't formed it as a habit. So you have to find what works for you. And then again, like I just said, you have to make a habit of using it. Does anybody have any questions about any of those 4 ways?
So Evernote gives you reminders, or?
Yeah, is that Joni talking?
Yes.
Yeah, so within Evernote, what I do, and this is, and I probably haven't figured Evernote out to its fullest, but that you can put reminders in there. But what I do with Evernote is I actually, so I'll make a note that says, Wendy's name. And then within the note, I'll put specific dates. So I'll put 6/1, so the date, June 1st, contact Wendy. And then you can create a tag. So June 1st would be a tag. And so then every morning, I actually have a reminder on my phone that says check Evernote. At 8 o'clock every morning, I check Evernote, and what do I need to do on June 1st, or, for whatever date it is. So today, the 20, I don't even know what today is. Anyways, the 21st. So I would, look on what do I need to do on the 21st? I need to contact Wendy. Oh, I need to send so-and-so's packet. So Evernote really worked in that way. Any other questions about Evernote or any of the other ways of following up?
One of the things that I've used too is kind of like your box that you have. This is just a coupon thing. One of those, I bought it at Walmart, I think. And what it has in there is I can put the days of the month. It had a little thing to, let me get these ones in the front out so you can see. It had where you can put the days of the month in there. And so I put and the price drawing slips fit in there perfectly. So I have all the people that I want to contact for different things in May. And, so you can, and the reason I like this is because it was portable, so I could throw it in my purse. And so if I was anywhere, I could make calls from anywhere. And so there's all sorts of different things, whether you want to like use a box, whether you use Evernote. This is just one other idea, is just using a coupon holder. And I think I paid $3 for it at Walmart. So anybody else have a way they do it? Nobody else is following up?
You're using all our ideas.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Lindsay. Go ahead.
Well, Wendy, I really like that idea too. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, everybody else is kind of breaking up, so I'm hoping that everybody can hear mine okay. But just like Wendy just shared, there's lots of different, Phoenix, you can't do that. There's lots of different ways to follow up, but the bottom line is that we have to follow up because we have such a great opportunity to share, and it's an awesome business to share. So I always feel like my part of the training is so short, Wendy. But anyways, I'm just gonna to kind of wrap things up with a few quotes. And if anybody knows me, I saw Bethany just join, so Bethany knows that I'm a quote person. And I don't know, quotes just seem to resonate with me so well. So a few things that I have found. This is 3 different things, and one of them says, success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. So I think that is pretty fitting for what we're talking about, that we're not going to be successful if we don't follow up. We're never going to know, where people are as far as wanting to sign up. And then another one is, nothing is worse than missing an opportunity that could have changed your life, or in this case, someone's life. Get up here, boy. And then the last one is, and this one's I just thought this was kind of cute. I just found this morning, and that's, don't wait for your ship to come in, row out to meet it. I just thought that was kind of cute because, like I started, in the beginning, that people aren't always jumping up and down to join the business. Sometimes it takes a little more, like Wendy said, getting to know them, building that relationship. And then, of course, what I've been talking about with the follow-up. So that's what I have, and I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of the Spring into Success series. I really hope that you guys learned. I hope that you grew throughout it, and take these things with you and really, use them in your business. These are things that people have used that have made them successful. So, definitely take what you've learned and apply it to your business. So,
Great.
Back to me.
Awesome. Yeah, because that's really important, is the follow-up. I think I read somewhere that, people only follow up one to 2 times, but it really takes getting like 3, 4, 5 times before somebody would actually follow through with what you're doing. And leaving messages or text messages or anything like that. People are busy. Think how many times you haven't called somebody back and you've meant to, but you didn't. So it's the same type of thing. Just follow up. So anybody have any questions or anything that they want to share about that they've learned, that they're doing right now, that the rest of us could benefit from? What are you guys doing? This always scares me when nobody shares.
I did my first virtual show, like with the outline and a fundraiser last week, and I start my second one Monday. And we were doing a fundraiser for a mission trip for a friend of mine that I haven't seen in like over 15 years. And we used to work together, and she was just putting on Facebook that she was doing a mission trip. And so I said, would you want to do a fundraiser? So we did it, and it ended up being over $800.
Wow. Awesome. Just by reaching out, by looking, did you see it on Facebook? Is that what you saw it on? That she was going on?
I just saw it on Facebook. She mentioned she was going on the mission trip, and I said, well, would you be interested in doing a fundraiser? Because I knew they probably needed help with funds.
Mm-hmm.
So we did.
Right. That's awesome. I think that's great because you saw a need for somebody and you reached out to them. So that's great. Anybody else doing anything that you'd like to share?
I think you just have to take every opportunity there possibly can be, as far as the Facebook. You see something I need on Facebook, you jump all over it. Right now I'm doing a fundraiser for my softball.
Mhm.
We go, let's do this. You know, because any
Bethany, we can hardly hear you, hon.
all right, I don't know what's going. No?
Can anybody hear her? Or is it just me?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Huh. Sorry. We can't hear you. I'm sure you had this great idea. We can't hear you. So, all right. Well, maybe you can send it out and send it to Terry in an email, and then she can send it out to us. So, all right. Okay. So one other thing I do want to tell you guys is, there's always should be some training going on. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. I've been in 21. I think Sandy beat me by a couple years, 22, 23 years. But one of the things that we always make sure we do is we always do training, whether it is with the home office and the PCU. If you haven't taken that, take the PCU University again. Right now, I'm listening to podcasts, and it's just an app on your phone, and podcasts are free. I listened to the Belinda Ellsworth one and the Rory Vaden one, and they're free. And a lot of times they're only about 30 minutes, and they're a great thing to listen to on the way to your show, or when you're up and going around town doing errands or things like that. If you have any type of travel time in the car, or even at home when you're doing housework or something you don't really like to do, put a podcast on, and it's a great form of training. So I just wanted to tell you that. Anybody else have any other ideas for training?
No, but I do know if you're consistent with your training, it feels like you grow. Because I know some people have been on this all the way through and haven't missed one. So that's very impressive and shows the commitment in your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely has. Yeah. Yep. So anyway, you guys, thank you. Anybody want to share any last thing before we end our last call? Okay. Well, because Terry will be watching this later too.
Yeah, Amanda has some.
Do a little wahoo. It's our last call, and we're so excited that we learned so much on this. So you guys want to do a wahoo with me? Don't make me do this alone, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Wahoo! Okay, you know what? Some of you are not as loud as others. Don't make me do this all by yourself now. Let's do it one more time. Be a little bit more excited about it. Here we go. We're practicing for conference, and if you got to be excited at conference, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
There we go. All right, you guys. Thank you all so much. Have an awesome, awesome Saturday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.